If you want to know about interest rates and if they're going to tank the market, this is the video for you to watch. We're currently seeing interest rates go up. The question comes, are interest rates going to make the housing market fall apart? The answer, from what I can see and from experience, is no. And the reason being is if you look at history, history is going to repeat itself. Historically speaking, interest rates go up because of inflation. In an inflationary market, everything becomes more expensive. And the feds are there, they're a separate entity from the government to help tame inflation, to keep inflation down so prices don't get out of control. And so when inflation spikes or gets high the way it has been, the Fed is there to help ease the inflation by raising the interest rates. Many times, the mortgage rates are always going to be called what's baked in. So they're going to bake in the interest rates with a forecast from the feds when the feds are saying, we're going to raise the interest rate over X amount of time. The feds have been saying this since last year. At the beginning of 2022, the average interest rate was 3.11. The current interest rate is 4.67. And so that's what the feds were forecasting for the end of this year. So the mortgages, the banks have already baked in how much interest are they going to charge. The interest rates are going to go up based on mortgage-backed security. That's going to be too deep for what you're really looking for. If you want to talk about mortgage-backed securities, give me a call. I can talk to them blue in the face. Most people don't want to hear about that though. And so if you do look historically, interest rates are going to rise and they're going to fall. Over the last couple of years, interest rates have been very low. Now is still a great time to buy because interest rates are going to come back down. But you know what's going to go up? The housing prices. Housing prices are going to go up. They're going to continue to go up even when interest rates are going up as well. It does become more expensive to purchase a home. What buyers are going to do is they're going to shift from a 30-year fixed into a 3, 5, 7-year ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage. The reason that they're going to do that is because the interest rate is going to be fixed for that 3, 5, or 7 years based on a 30-year term. And then based on that 30-year term, the interest rates, they'll be able to refinance when the interest rates come down. Interest rates are going to come down. It takes time. But if you have a 3, 5, or 7-year term, you have plenty of time for those interest rates to come down. And you also have plenty of time to build equity inside your home. Listen, y'all, Silicon Valley is different than other parts of the country. And this happens over and over again when we're looking at interest rates and when we're looking at where those interest rates start and where they go to. If you look back in 1993, 1996, 1998, 2003, 2005, and 2012, those are all times that the interest rates have gone up. Within those 6 years, the interest rates have gone up a total of 1.46%. Now, the question is, did housing prices go up or did they drop? Housing prices actually went up by 8% over those 6 years. Even though interest rates were going up, the housing prices also went up. So that's an important thing to look at. So back in 1996, interest rates were actually a lot higher, much higher than they are now. And in 1996, over the course of 8 months, there was an increase of 1.2% with a final interest rate of 8.23%. The home prices went up 2%. The home sales were down 2%. So let's take that for a second. So does that mean all of a sudden that the housing sales are going to drop? Well, yeah, the sales might drop, but that doesn't mean that we're going to fall into a catastrophic issue. Because even if the sale amount, the amount of home sales are down, that doesn't mean that the sales across the board and we're going to have a flood of inventory all of a sudden. That's not what that means. That simply means that if 1 month we have 1,000 buyers, the next month we have 2% less of those 1,000 buyers. And so that's what the home sales net down means. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're going to have this catastrophe of inventory on the market where no buyers want to buy it. That's simply not the case. What we're going to see is the housing prices continue to go up and the interest rates are going to go up as well. Again, 3, 5, 7-year ARM, an adjustable rate mortgage. Adjustable rate mortgage, again, I'm not a loan officer. I used to be. I've got some great loan officers to refer you over to if you do have questions. But based on the interest rates and based on getting a 3, 5, 7-year ARM, that just means you refinance when the rate comes down. The rates are going to come back down again. And that historically is how it's going to happen. Rates go up, rates come down, and right now, rates are up a little bit, so there's not a whole lot of refinances right now. And that's totally fine because it's going to mean that the purchase contracts are going to go through faster when people get a loan. If you look over the decades, interest rates have come down, and interest rates are going to come down again, even though they've come back up, right? So if you look at the 70s, the average interest rate in the 70s was 8.86%. In the 80s, the average interest rate was 12.7%. In the 90s, the average interest rate was 8.12%. And in the 2000s, the average interest rate was 6.29%. 2010's average interest rate was 4.09%. So interest rates will go up, interest rates will come down. I think that's the most important thing to understand right now because we have seen interest rates for such a long time and interest rates be down so much that we really are trying to buy ourselves back out of the issues that are going on, whether they be geopolitical, whether they be things like the giant virus that we just had with COVID, those different things, that's why the interest rates have been so low. And so interest rates are coming back up. We're going to see interest rates come back down again. And remember, interest rates will come back down and housing prices are going to continue to go up. So if you purchase a home now, you're hedging against inflation. That means that you purchase something that's at a fixed rate that's going to continue to go up in value. And also, when you go to refinance into a better rate later on, you're going to have more equity. So you have more equity in the home, you have hedged against inflation, and you're going to have a lower interest rate eventually. Give me a call if you have any questions, 408-393-9294. Talk to you soon.